Today we've got Lucas Chiodo with us. So Lucas, first of all, thanks for taking the time. We're going to take you right back to, very early days. So you were raised in Churchill, Ontario. What can you tell us about Churchill, Ontario?
Yeah, Churchill's it's a small town just outside of Barrie where I played minor hockey and junior hockey. But yeah, it was a good little town. I was raised there and happy to be from Churchill.
Yeah, I did have a look at Churchill to see if I could find anything interesting about it. But if I mention Yonge Street, is that something interesting?
Yonge Street, I don't know if that crosses my mind.
Okay, so my take on that is that Yonge Street runs right through Churchill.
Oh yeah,
And
it goes all the way up to Barrie.
So
Yeah.
you basically lived on the longest street in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of debate about whether Yonge Street is the longest, but it's certainly credited.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you say, it's not a big place. So did you have a rink?
I think the closest rink to me was probably a 10-minute drive, but yeah, there's Innisfil, there's a bunch of rinks. Stroud, just little small towns near me, they had rinks, so I was lucky enough to be in a hockey community kind of thing and grow up there.
Yeah. And so you said about a hockey community. So were you from a hockey family as such?
Yeah, kind of. So you can say that. My dad and my uncle played hockey. They didn't play the highest level, but they played a pretty good leagues growing up. And my dad's a big diehard Leafs fan, so I was watching the Leafs game when I was younger, and he was really encouraging me to put skates on, always getting me sticks and stuff, and to play the game because he loved it.
Yeah. So what was Lucas Chiodo, the student, all about? So how did school go for you?
Yeah, I mean, my parents were definitely pushing me that, student athlete's kind of a big thing, and, education takes you a long way. And, I got my university degree at Guelph, so, they were kind of pushing me to do something like that because, hockey, you're not going to play for the rest of your life. So, you always need a backup plan.
Once you kind of get in and established in, say, minor teams, is there something at the back of your head saying, yeah, the NHL might be something for me at one point?
Yeah, I mean, once I got to the OHL, I mean, everybody's goal when you're in the OHL and the CHL is to get to that next level, and that'd be the National Hockey League. But, there's a lot of good hockey players out there, and it's a really tough league to make. So, I mean, Europe presented an opportunity to me, and with the bigger ice surface, it kind of suits my game anyways. So I feel like I'm meant to be playing here, and I'm happy to be over here.
Yeah. Now you mentioned Barrie. So Barrie's probably the largest town. Would you call it a town, or would you call it a city?
City.
It's a city,
We'll call it a
isn't
city.
Yeah. And so you made your way there to play minor midget first with the Colts, and then, as you say, you were drafted into the OHL. What were the highlights for you playing in Barrie?
Yeah, I mean, Barrie's a great city. My grandma actually lives in Barrie. My parents bought their first house in Barrie, so yeah, I feel like I got a lot of roots there. Growing up, my parents and I, we actually would go to the Colts games when I was a little guy, so that's, it was a dream of mine since I was a little kid, and, I got to play for them, so I was lucky enough to live out my dream, and, just playing every night in front of the fans. They got a great fan base there, and, I really enjoyed my time.
And after your first season, next couple of seasons you did well. I mean, you were second points in your second season, and I think, if I'm correct, you led in points in your third season. Played with some pretty good players as well. Anybody stand out for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, in the second year, I was lucky we didn't really have the best of teams, so I got a big opportunity to play, and, I gained confidence that year. And then the following year, I actually was playing with a lot of great guys. Like, we had Andrei Svechnikov, who's in the NHL right now, lighting it up. We had Sokolov, who was a really good player, Luchuk, who was a really good player. So, I mean, I was just lucky enough to be playing with guys of that caliber and push you to be a better player.
And I mean, we all know you for your size. It's maybe not a true thing to say anymore. I mean, there was probably a time where size was against players, playing, and certainly going up the levels. But we see it even now, in the top leagues. There's a lot of smaller size guys. So again, playing in Major Junior, did you find that to be an issue for you?
I found maybe the first year, just kind of adjusting to it. I was 16 and there's 20-year-olds you're playing against, so obviously you're already undersized, underweight kind of thing. But I mean, the game nowadays, it's all about skating, so you got to be a really good skater, and I feel like that's my game. I'm quick. I make quick decisions, so I mean, I feel like it doesn't really affect me. I'm able to do what I want to do on the ice. I feel like I'm an effective player, so yeah. I mean, like I said, now today it's just all about skating, so I feel like I fit right in.
Yep. And one of the things about kids going and playing Major Junior is you could be far enough away from home, but Barrie was obviously fairly close. So did you stay at home during that time, or did you billet with somebody? Or
so my first year I did live with my parents, and that was obviously great because I was comfortable there, home cooked meals and everything. But after that, I did decide to billet, just kind of to have the full experience, and I had great billet parents in Barrie and in Ottawa, so I was really lucky in that sense. I was just like another part of their family, and they welcomed me in, which was great.
Yeah. So we get to the end of your Major Junior career, and as you mentioned earlier, you moved over to Europe. Now, how did that particular move come about? Did you see opportunities in North America, or did you, were you drawn particularly to, try something different?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an interesting one. That summer after my OA year in the OHL, I was kind of, unsure where I would end up. There was different opportunities, but, when I heard about Europe, I thought the bigger ice surface, I just thought, it really suits my game. I thought if I do well, I can keep moving up leagues, and I like that. So, like I said before in the interview, like I feel like I'm meant to be here on the bigger ice, and I love playing on the bigger ice.
Yeah. So what was your first taste of Europe? Was obviously with FASA in the Alps League. What was your first impressions then of Italy and the culture?
Yeah, it was definitely different for sure. I mean, Fasa's a great city. It's just a little ski town though, so it's definitely, an adjustment period for me. I'm used to like cities being near me, so it's definitely an adjustment period. But, I love my time there. They gave me a great opportunity to play and, to develop, and I gained a lot of confidence that year.
Of course, you have dual nationality.
Yes.
And how did that come around?
So my grandparents were born in Italy, and my nonna, she kept her Italian citizenship, and I got it through her.
Excellent. So that was that season in FASA, which again you were top of the scoring. Was the 2019-20 season. So did the dreaded COVID kind of wreck your plans at that stage?
Yeah, kind of. So at the end of that season, that's when COVID kind of hit, and everything was unsure in the world. So I thought it was the best decision for me to just stay home, go to school, get my schooling in, and just see what happens with the whole COVID thing.
Yeah. So say you went and spent a couple of years with the University of Guelph doing a business degree, is that correct?
I was just in general arts, so I was just kind of taking different sorts of things and trying to build up, credits for that degree, so that's what I took.
Yeah. So we kind of come out of COVID and you think, Europe's still the place to be, so...
Yeah, so I mean, after COVID, I thought, I already played in that league. And they have a rule where you have to play 16 consecutive months in Italy to get your Italian citizenship. So that's something I really wanted to do. I thought, that could help me down the road. So that's kind of where the plan was there.
Yeah. Did anybody from the Italian national team ever come calling? And did you ever catch anybody's eye? And do you even know how that works?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got approached yet, but I mean, just got to keep playing hard, and you never know who's watching. So just keep playing hard, and hopefully it works out.
Yeah. And then, of course, last season, you arrive in Fife, and I think maybe the first half of the season, you've probably said this in the past, again, it was an adjustment time, but second half of the season you kind of got going, and that carried forward into this season. So
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Coming into a different league, it was an adjustment period. It's a little more physical in this league than most leagues in Europe, so I was kind of adjusting to that, and I feel like I don't know why, but every year I feel like I have a better second half than a first half. So, I'm hoping that's the case this year as well, and keep building on into the new year, and it's kind of like a fresh start for us and me personally.
yeah. You mentioned, and I think you've mentioned before, that your biggest kind of influence on your career and supporters for your career has obviously been your family.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, just before Christmas there, you had a bereavement.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your grandparents.
Yeah, I mean, my nono unfortunately passed away from cancer just before Christmas, but yeah, it was definitely sad times. He's somebody who I definitely looked up to. He was a big supporter of mine. He was always encouraging me. He was really happy I was living out my dream, and he's just a guy that if he was in the room, his smile lit everybody up. He was always making people laugh, so he's definitely someone where you'd want to hang around a family gathering for sure.
I know, obviously, you've mentioned that you're going to, pay tribute in some way to him by, making some donation for your points and
Mm-hmm.
and goals. It's a grandparent thing, I think, in Canada. Did he offer you incentives when you were playing in your younger days by giving you $1 for a goal, or in fact I understand it's maybe $1 for a goal but $5 for an assist type of thing, is it?
Yeah, he was definitely giving me a bonus. He had a contract for me or something, but yeah, he would just kind of every goal or assist, he would give me some money, like $10 bill every time he came to a game. So I thought it was a good idea to honor him for the rest of this year. For every goal and assist, I'm gonna donate $10 for cancer research, and he's looking down, he's proud. I know every game he's watching up there, so yeah, definitely doing this for him for sure.
Yeah, and what one final kind of tribute you're going to pay is you're going to make a number change.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I thought he's definitely a special person to me, and when you're a player, probably the first thing people notice is your number on the back of your jersey. So he was born in 1937, so I'm going to change my number from 86 to 37, and just kind of keep honoring him, and keep his spirit alive, because he was a great person and a lot of people loved him.
Cool. Lucas, thank you very much for your time, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Cheers.